Good morning, March 25th. Hopefully, someone doesn't call me from work and interrupt me during this episode, like the one where I did with the kids. So I have my coffee. I'm a slut for tacos, a taco hoe, if you will. If you're not watching the video, I just read that off the cup. So I want to tell you guys a story of something that happened to me in the shower. Don't be pervy. It's not pervy. So I'm in the shower. That's my thinking time. I start thinking, man, I kind of miss going to Jeep shows. And if you know me, that's a pretty ridiculous statement, but it's been so long since I've been to a Jeep show. I'm starting to miss them. And I don't mean like a big event. I mean like a local 20, 30 people pull up with your coffee and just hang out and look at everybody else's shit. And just it's one big circle jerk and it's a ton of fun. So I'm thinking I could do that. I've done events before. I can definitely put together a meet and greet. No problem. And then I'm thinking, where could we do this? Should we do it local here in Fredericksburg, or should we go to Woodbridge, kind of meet in the middle? Should we go down south, a little more west? You know, I'm thinking about all these things, and I'm like, you know what? You know, it shouldn't be a meet and greet. It should probably just like we should meet at a park or an off-road spot and do some off-roading. I'm like, yeah, that's a really good idea, Angel. That's good because, you know, you have the experience with that kind of stuff. I think that could turn out well. And I start thinking through all the details and logistics of that. And then I'm thinking, well, you know, there's really no point in meeting if we're not going to do good for our community in some manner. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That would be a really good idea. I'm sitting there and fucking washing my beard, washing my arm. Despite how I look, 90% of the time, I do shower every day. So this story isn't that far-fetched. And I'm thinking, yeah, we should do some good because, you know, there are a lot of people that deserve and need support. So what would be better than to get a bunch of friends together and help support someone who needs it? I'm sitting there, I'm thinking through logistics, who I would invite. Well, I can't really do this all by myself. So I should probably ask some of the guys from different companies that I know if they want to, you know, help out a little bit. Like, yeah, that is a good idea. Man, you're really smart. Keep thinking, like, man, we should, I wonder if we could get like a lot of people to show up. That would be cool. Like maybe 100 people. That'd be pretty dope. And then we could do, some wheeling in the day. You know, in the morning, have a little break for lunch, and then come back, do some more wheeling, and then we could all meet up together at the end. Oh my God, my nose is itchy. So I'm standing there in the shower, so fucking proud of myself, you know? Just like, really, I'm really good at this, you know? And then I'm like, what if, hear me out, Angel, what if we got companies to send us stuff that we could raffle off and then make even more money for whatever this charity is that we're going to support? And I'm like, you are so fucking smart, dude. This is like an actual conversation scenario that happened in my head earlier in the week, like Monday, or maybe it was last Friday. I don't know. Today's Friday. I'm like, yeah, fucking sweet, dude. You fucking rock. And that's why you're a business owner, because you're so fucking smart. And then as I start, like, I'm completely flushing out the details in my brain. Like I'm doing everything in my head, like we need to do this. I'm going down bullet points, not realizing at the time that this all happens in the span of like 10 minutes, by the way. I'm going through all these details and like, man, I'm thinking about this stuff really fast. It's like I know what to do. And then I stop and I'm like, what the actual fuck are you doing? You are literally just planning Built to Heal all over again. Like that's the exact scenario of how that happened the first time. And I guess that just goes to show you, like, your brain only thinks of the good things of anything. I didn't remember in that instance the months of planning that it took prior to the begging of companies to send us stuff, like not even a lot of stuff, just a little stuff. And the embarrassment that was, it really was just fucking embarrassing. I had the most amazing group of friends that was so supportive, and a couple of you listen, shout out. That made it a lot easier, but still, that was very tough mentally. But when I finally caught myself in that train of thought, I'm like, man, this is why you had to take a break, dude. You can't, especially now that I have a third child and a job that's not so willy-nilly on leave time. It's just not gonna work. I can't go down that road again. But at the same time, part of me is like, okay, bro, just keep it simple, keep it super simple, get the Comanche up and running, slap some farm tags on it, and then go over to the VRE bus station like 2 miles down the road, big empty parking lot, especially on the weekends, and just, put out an open invite. If you got a Jeep and you want to come hang out, I'm going to be in this empty parking lot from this time to this time. That's it. I'm not bringing anything to sell. I'm not representing any companies other than my own. We're not doing any fucking raffles. I'm not cooking you lunch. I need to set some ground rules for myself. So I think that I'm going to do that this summer. Still a little bit gun shy on it, and I know a couple of you listening right now are probably going, no, don't do it, dude. I feel like it has the potential to spiral into something that it shouldn't be, but at the same time, I don't know. I guess I miss my fucking friends, and I miss doing Jeep stuff. That's the moral of the story for that. But I just thought it was hilarious that over the course of that 10-minute shower that I went from small local meet and greet to let's host another fucking charity event. It's just, it made me laugh that's how my brain went through that. I noticed we got some new subscribers. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. It's, like I say in the emails, it's ridiculous that this is even a thing. If in July, at the end of July of 2013, if you would have told me you are going to have a podcast, but you're also going to have a sub-podcast that people give you their hard-earned dollars for, the money that they work for all day, they're going to give you some of that to listen to extra episodes. Be like, that's not a thing. That's not how that works. Plus, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about on this fictional podcast and fictional sub-podcast? That's ridiculous. And now here we are sitting. It's 5:18 on a Friday morning, and I'm sitting in my basement recording a podcast, and it's fucking amazing, and I love doing it. And thank you. Since we last spoke, I want to take this opportunity and apologize for that last podcast. The boys have been bugging me. You guys were bugging me about when we were going to do another boys' night podcast. I had fun. It's really hard to just because I'm into the production value of this and the mic noises and the popping and the not talking into the microphone, all like is making my brain go and it's driving me insane. So you guys know I'm not the most patient parent, but I try, and those boys are fucking hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. The thing that makes me laugh the most is that when I cuss, they laugh, which just instigates me to do it more. So it's from the beginning, since Taylor was a baby, me and Michelle decided that we might like tone it down a little bit, but I'm not going to not curse in front of my kids, because as soon as they get to middle school, they're going to hear it. So they might as well be used to it now. I remember I grew up in a very Christian household. And I remember the first time that I heard fuck like out in the wild, like actually meant like fuck. I was like, it didn't scar me, but it was like, I wasn't used to it. Even hearing people say, what the hell? I'd be like, oh no, that hurts. Those words hurt. Shout out, Mom. I love you. You did your best. But cursing isn't something that I'm going to raise my kids to be a big deal. They do understand that those are grown-up words. Like, you can't, when you're a little baby, you can't say those words. Those are grown-up words. There was one night, Luke, this was a couple months ago, I think he said hell or something. I think he said what the hell or something like that. And I was like, dude, I was putting him in bed. I'm like, dude, you cannot say that. That's a grown-up word. You can't be out in school saying what the hell. And he looks at me and goes, well, when I go to sleep, I'm just going to say it in my bed. I had no response to that other than to laugh. I'm like, I mean, I can't stop you. Like, as soon as I turn the light off and close the door, I have no idea what you're doing. So these kids are fucking hellions, man. I tell you what. But Jeep stuff. Let's talk about fucking Jeep stuff. So I got the coilovers from Lamb Chop. I don't think I explicitly said this. Lamb Chop gave me a set of Fox 2.0 16-inch coilovers. Like, gave. Like, he bought, he gave. I don't know if I've made that clear or not, but Lamb Chop gave me those coilovers. So, dude, holy shit, thank you. I know I've said it a million times. Like, I'll randomly text him and be like, what's happening right now? He also got me the right spring rates for the springs. So I need to do the little adjuster thingies, and I'm going to swap out the air shocks. I'm going to keep the air shocks for now. I'm probably going to have them sent out to get revalved or whatever you do to make them fresh. And then they'll probably sit in the corner of the garage until God knows when. There's not a real big market for air shocks right now, and that's fine. So I'd rather just keep them instead of letting them go for super cheap just to make a couple bucks. But I'm hoping this weekend that I can record a video for YouTube. I want to record like 2 regular podcasts, but we'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath. Some shit always fucking happens during the weekend, and I don't get shit done, but we'll see. So that's the plan for the coilovers. I don't know if they're the same bolt holes as the air shocks are right now. I might have to redo the tabs. I don't think I will. I don't know. I'm gonna do the least amount of work possible to get on the road. But technically, even for the first shakedown, I really don't need to run the coilovers. I can just run the air shocks as they are, because those are done, ready to go. The tabs are welded. There's gas in them. Shout out Hadley. So I might do that just for a shakedown. The biggest thing now, as of right now, like if I wanted to go wheeling on Saturday, what I would have to do is, I'm still waiting on my Dana 60 1350 yoke from Off-Road Elements. I have the 1350 yoke for the Dana 300 for the front output, and I have to change both of those before I can measure for the front drive shaft. I have the kit. I need to cut and weld one side because the other side is already pressed and welded. The issue that I foresee happening is that as it sits right now, the cross member that holds the transfer case up, the front output yoke barely clears the bar, if that makes any sense. So see if you can see on the video. So here's the tube going across, like we're looking from frame to frame like this. The output yoke, just as it spins like this, almost hits the tube. So I have a sneaking suspicion that once I put that 1350 on, that it's not going to fit, like period. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought about putting a spacer between the cross member and the transfer case to like space them up a little bit, but then that would push the transfer case into the body more. And I don't know if you've seen pictures, but I have cut the ever-living fuck out of that floor. There's like no floor left in that thing. Between the cutouts for the links and the drive shaft and everything else that I've cut out, there's basically no floor left in that thing. I don't know, like it's not a fucking show rig or anything, but I'm done cutting the floor. Like I don't want to cut the floor anymore. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I don't know what's gonna do. I'm thinking about marking where it's gonna hit and then just hit it with a flap disc and make like a little swoopy thing and then put a piece of plate over top of it. I've seen people do that before. I don't know that cross member is gonna see that much load. I don't know. We'll see. I might be talking out of my fucking ass. You guys know how to reach me if I'm talking some dumb shit and you're like, Angel, no, stop. Don't. The things that you're saying, don't do those things. If it's that much of an emergency, tell me. Or even if it's not an emergency, even if you're like, hey man, podcast sucks, let me know. So I got to figure out what's going on with that. And then at that point, once that front drive shaft is in, at that point, I would say I am fully ready to do a shakedown run. But there are a bunch of little things that I think need to be done before I do an actual, like, let's go hit some fucking rocks breakdown run. Shakedown run. See, I fucking Simpsoned it. I said breakdown run. It's going to go terribly. See, my brain already knows it's going to go terribly. I've been suppressing those thoughts for months, probably, at this point. I was talking to Kate Atkinson. Shout out, Kate. Talking about the shakedown run. And I'm like, I'm terrified. I don't know if I know how to fucking wheel anymore. Because it's been so long. I don't want to think about how long it's been. It's been a long time and it makes my feelings hurt. That's what I get for being fucking stupid and lazy and poor, I guess. The things that need to be buttoned up for the actual let's go hit some rocks breakdown. I need to get a skid plate. So the skid plate, if you watch the YouTube that Tommy let me use for fit up, won't work because my rear lowers come so far forward on the frame rails that they cover up the rearmost bolt of the 3 bolts that hold in like a stock skid plate. So I would have had to cut so much out of his very expensive undercover fab skid plate. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. If he wants to do that for his, he can, but I'm not gonna pay him for it to do that. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is get one from Barnes and cut up that. So that's really going to hurt my fucking feelings. Because those things are like $200. That's going to hurt my feelings. I'm getting a stomachache thinking about it. Or maybe it's the 2 cups of Bustelo that I've inhaled into my body. Back on topic. Once I get that skid plate on, I think I'll be good. And I'm also going to do a little bit of research today to see if I can make a stock YJ oil pan skid work for my shit, so I don't have to build a fucking crazy one with bent tube off the frame and a whole bunch of shit. If not, then I'll have Hadley and Lamb Chop help me, try and figure out the logistics of how that's gonna work. They can just like look at shit and be like, this is what you need to do. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over there like this in the corner of the garage, like trying to visualize what needs to happen. I'm just like, and my brain shuts off. I'm like, I don't have that. My brain doesn't work like that. Theirs does, and that's why I'm incredibly grateful that I have friends like them. Why is this screen on that moving? What the actual fuck? That's weird. Oh, don't tell me I have to return this one too. What the fuck is happening? What are you doing? It keeps Oh my god. Okay, well, looks like we might be returning this one too. Maybe just fuck it. Oh, fuck no. Yep, that one's going back. Jesus Christ. Woosah. There's no way that I got 2 $600 boards bad back to back. Yeah, the screen's like glitching and going and shifting around. Oh my god, I should have just gotten my money back the first time. You stupid shit. Okay, focus. Don't look at this. Focus. The YJ oil skid. Yes, gonna do some research and figure out. I can't look at it and figure out what's going on with that. Here, look, we'll do this. Boop. We'll figure that out because I need an oil pan skid the way I drive, and I definitely need a trans skid. But yeah, so obviously the Jeep runs and drives. Haven't had any issues with leaking. Shocker, right? Not leaking from the axles, not leaking from the transmission, the transfer case, the engine, I think I got the coolant leak fixed. I think I just had too much in there. Fuel's not leaking, which is fucking tits. It was running rough, like extra rough one day, and I opened up the fuel cell and there's fucking leaves in there. So I pulled those out. The leaves were like getting blocked. They were blocking the where it flows out, and not enough fuel was getting through. I'm like, God, maybe you should have fucking looked in there before you put all this together. But I have 2 filters on there, so I don't think anything got sucked up, or the pump hasn't been whining, which is good. I do need to buy a second one of those just in case, because that would suck to have that go out on the trail and not have a spare when they're only like $110. That's probably about it. Obviously there's stuff that needs to be upgraded. The outers need to be changed to 35 spline and probably actually all the axles need to be chromoly. They don't need to be, but they should be. I also want to get drive slugs for the hubs, and then probably just weld the front, because who needs turning radius? And then I'll probably leave the rear alone. They're 456s now. I think my issue is going to be gearing in the transfer case, because it's stock gearing for a Dana 300, which is not that super low. And with it being a stick, I'm going to have more wheel speed to hit shit instead of just crawling it. So that's going to suck. All of the off-road rigs like that can be put on the trail have all been stick. And I've said since the first one that the next one is going to be automatic, and none of them have. So I don't know. I'm just a glutton for punishment. But I'm running out of time. I still got a ton of shit to do. I woke up early this morning, and I was like, I'm going to go for a run. So I go downstairs. I've ran the past 2 days in a row. I'll have you fucking know. I go downstairs, and I see a mountain of dishes. It's been piling up for like 3 days that I haven't touched. And I'm like, I need to do those. Fuck a run. I need to do those dishes. I can't look at them for one more fucking day. So I did the dishes, made the lunch, did some cleanup. And I'm like, I have time to podcast. I absolutely have time to podcast. So here we are. Plus, I enjoy talking with you. And I understand that it's not actually talking to you, but I've said from the beginning that this is somehow therapeutic for me, just to sit down here alone. All the lights are off except that one big light. And just like go through whatever's in my head. And that makes me feel good. And I hope you enjoy it. And well, you do, because... Well, that's not true, because you could be supporting the podcast just because you feel bad, or you just like the everything of 7 Slot, not this particular thing. There are some Patreon accounts that I subscribe to monthly that I don't necessarily like. I'll fucking tell you. So I am a patron for Bleep and Jeep. Not at I think I'm at the lowest level or the second highest level. I can't remember. But I don't ever look at it. Like zero ever time ever. Apparently you get like early access to videos and like giveaways and shit. I don't even open the emails, if I'm being honest, because I don't give a shit. And I don't really watch all of his videos on YouTube all the time, because some of them are kind of long. But I like Matt, and I like what Matt is doing. So that's my way of being supportive without actually having to watch any of the videos that I don't want to watch. So we're gonna end it there. I love you so much. I hope you have a great day. Bye.